This edition of the Ridley Report is brought to you by
RidleyReport.com/travel. It has taken over 8 years to achieve the halfway point on a desperate but hopeful voyage. Members of the Free State Project are aiming to recruit 20,000 liberty activists who would move to New Hampshire. Their goal? Downsize the government in one state. Today, they signed their 10,000th member. If you click on the video description for this clip, you'll see some details.
Way? This won't go through the door like this.
No, but it's easier to carry. Should we go nice?
In practice, progress has been both easier and harder than the movement's founders expected. Formed in 2001, the organization projected a fairly rapid progression to 20,000 members. They thought it would be followed by slow years of moving and decades of mild activism. What happened instead was the opposite. Recruiting slowed to just dozens a month after participants voted to select New Hampshire as the destination. But the migration began within days.
Yes, we got to keep them in line.
An Oregon sales rep named Jackie Casey was the first Free Stater to move. Officially, 546 Free Staters have migrated here since the state's selection in 2003. 250 already lived in the state. And unofficially, the totals are thought to be higher.
Is it safe to assume that you won't be corresponding with Homeland Security again before the March 11th deadline?
I can't say whether I will or not.
Each activist has had a disproportionate effect on the politics and culture around them. It only took hundreds of activists, not thousands, to put liberty back on the map. And the effect was not in just one state. It was nationwide. It was Free Staters' early '07 rock star welcome for Ron Paul in New Hampshire, which influenced his decision to run for president. That, in turn, began to shake the foundations of Washington's freedom-killing system.
Live free or die! Live free or die!
The Free Staters' steadfast support for state sovereignty played a key role in the partial defeat of Real ID and the creation of a sovereignty resolution that spread to dozens of other state legislatures. The Washington establishment stayed calm, but felt that rattle too. On a more local level, Free Staters changed the course of Manchester history when their activists collected the last-minute signatures needed to put a spending cap on the ballot. The issue mobilized fed-up city residents. It passed overwhelmingly and is now part of the city charter. It's likely to limit taxes for decades into the future. Between 4 and 6 Free Staters already hold seats in the State House, depending on how you count them. Roughly the same number tend to show up at this spot every month. It's a courthouse in Keene where juries are selected. Thanks to Free Staters, every juror now gets a chance to learn about their rights, to follow their conscience, and defy the judge's verdict instructions. It was nearly the only courthouse in the world completely blanketed with information this way, until other Free Staters did the same thing at the courthouse that serves Grafton. The main political organization built by Free Staters is the New Hampshire Liberty Alliance. It operates at the state level, and its endorsed candidates have been sweeping elections since '09. Most of its endorsees won in the 2008 general election as well. Free Staters have been in the news almost constantly, and on the occasions when they're ignored, they just use their own broadcasts, or they perform civil disobedience to get their issues on the agenda. Like the civil rights movement before them, they find the government tends to overstep its reaction, creating new coverage and new supporters. Perhaps more importantly, though, these peaceful freedom fighters have reminded Americans there are effective ways to fight the government without bloodshed. As Americans reach their wits' end, they need to see successes. They need to see a path to freedom that is nonviolent. If only they were all looking, they would see it in New Hampshire and on freestateproject.org. Would you like to see the Ridley Report cover a specific event in person? Well, Ridley is a cheap bastard. His travel budget is close to zero, and he does not often go out of his way for stories. Unless you pay him. As of summer '09, he charges about $10 an hour plus driving expenses. Help New Hampshire Liberty events get the coverage they deserve. RidleyReport.com/travel